This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, welcome everyone. So Parsha's Bereishis. So even though we typically do Gemara, but there's so much on the Parsha. The truth is, in some communities, the custom is that in Parsha's Bereishis, they don't learn the Parsha. For instance, in Ger, they have a custom that they have Kiddush on Bereishis, because Bereishis is so inexplicable, it's so impossible to understand. They're afraid people will delve into it and they'll come to the wrong conclusions, so instead they just have more Kiddush, as if Simchas Torah wasn't enough. But still, Ad Shi'adena Magas, there's still so much that we could glean from the Parsha. So on Wednesday we spoke about the following, and I'm just going to sum it up for you in, let's say, 5 minutes or so, and then I want to add an idea and add a very important idea. Okay, and that is, we quoted the Gemara Megillah that says that a chazan, if while the chazan is davening, he prays, he says, God, your mercy extends even to the birds, evidenced by the fact that you can't just take away the egg of a baby, of a mother bird, but you have to send away the mother first. In other words, somebody says that God's mercy is displayed to the birds, we silence such a person. And the Gemara brings a reason, the various reasons, but one of the reasons the Gemara says is Humatil kina b'masa bereishis. You're engendering jealousy in creation, as if God is only merciful to birds, and He's not merciful to cats. And because technically, if you find a little cat, you could take the cat with the mother watching. You find the little puppy, you could take the puppy with the mother watching. Any other animal, you're allowed to take the young with the parents standing there. So if you're going to say God's mercy extends to the birds, it's as if God is only merciful to birds and not to anything else. And we brought a number of examples of this concept that God does not want and did not want jealousy to take any part and have any part in the creation of the world. For example, when God created man, He told the angels that we have to create man. Why do we have to create man? Because since Hashem knew, Hashem convinced the Malachim that He has to create man, because Hashem tells the angels, if we don't create man, you guys are created in my likeness. If we don't have something created in my likeness downstairs, there's going to be kina b'masa bereishis. There's going to be an imbalance. There's something in my image upstairs, there's not something in my image downstairs. Now, that was the reasoning God gave to the angels why He has to create the angels. Furthermore, Rashi says, that in the creation of man, God consulted with the angels. Why did He consult with the angels? Because He knew that when He creates man, the angels would be jealous of man. So God consulted with the angels so as not to engender the jealousy of the angels.
Good manager.
Yeah. Furthermore, we pointed out, God told the angels we have to create man, otherwise the tachtonim will be jealous of the elyonim. But if there are no people, who exactly is going to be jealous? The rocks, the sticks, the earth? It seems like it's a very, very jealous world, and everyone's keeping a cheshbon. It's like, you get into a dispute, not you, but there are people, they get into disputes with their spouse, and the spouse says, you're keeping score? You're keeping, right? But it's a very jealous world. People keep score. Where are you going for Yom Tif? Your parents want you to come. Your in-laws, how could you come? 73 years ago, you went to them on the third day of Purim. So today, also you have to go. 73 years ago, when Purim came out on Tisha B'Av, you went to them. So this time you have to come to us.
When I first got married, I kept an Excel spreadsheet. It was exactly that, because now we had children on both sides. How much time we spent? How much time I gave up after that.
Lots of luck, right? So, furthermore, we pointed out that when God created man, He created man from the heaven and from the earth. The soul from heaven and the body from the earth. Why? Because day one, God created the heaven and the earth. So it's a tie. Day two, He created the rakia. 2-to-1 heaven. Day 3, He created the dry land. It's a tie game. Top of the third, on the fourth day, He created the luminaries in the sky. Fifth day, the fish. Tie. Sixth day, God created man. So if He's going to create him from the earth is going to be one up. And created from the sky, so Hashem created from both. Why? Rashi says, Im lav yesh kina b'masa bereishis in number 6. We even spoke out the Maral, who says sometimes it says Shamayim first, sometimes it says Aretz first, otherwise there's going to be jealousy. Oh, I was first, you were first, who was mentioned first in the Pasuk, even within one Pasuk. Then we spoke out the Kasha, the Achronim. Shabbos is a day of rest for who? For us downstairs. So then, Nachamol, the earth is up by one, on bottom of the ninth. So the Mefarshim say, well, man itself is created from heaven and earth, so it's not only for the Tachtonim. Or even the Risham and Gehenim take a break on Shabbos. So we discussed all of these. We mentioned from the Meshech Chachma that there's a question, because Noach was given permission to eat meat because he cared for the animals on the Teva. But what about the fish then? Was he allowed to eat fish? Some Achronim say no, Noach was not allowed to eat fish. But the Meshech Chachma writes, Noach was allowed to eat fish because otherwise there's going to be jealousy in creation. The fish are going to say, God likes tuna better than steak. God likes gefilte fish better than brisket. So again, we see this is a very important concept in the creation of the world. And we mentioned on Wednesday 2 limudim that we learned from here. One of them we mentioned in this year, and the other one we mentioned Wednesday night. And number one is how careful we have to be to avoid arousing someone else's jealousy. For example, we mentioned that when God made the moon small, He needed to appease the moon, so He created stars. How many stars did God create? Gazillion, trillion. There are more stars than grains of sand in all the beaches in the world. And each star is more powerful than the sun. Or at least many of them are more powerful than the sun. So look what Hashem created so as not to make the moon jealous of the sun. So how great lengths, what kind of lengths a person should go not to arouse someone else's jealousy. But then we mentioned another idea, and I don't think we brought it here, and that is the Targum on Koheles, an amazing Targum on Koheles. If you look at number 24, the Targum says, "Bereishis aniyas kol amal ve'is kol kishron hamasa." I see all the toil and all the good actions in this world. Ki hi kinas ish mereyeho. It's all jealousy. Literally, everything that everybody does is jealousy. And what does Koheles say about that? Gam zeh hevel ureus ruach. It's a bunch of rubbish. It's a bunch of emptiness. But the simple meaning of the pasuk is, every single thing that anybody ever did is motivated by one factor: jealousy.
It says hevel.
And it's a bunch of nonsense.
Yes. No.
Yeah, so therefore, everything everyone does is a what? Yes, and in fact, Targum Yonasan ben Uziel says, "O v'chazes ana yaskol torcha v'yaskol oitavos uvada da'avdin b'nei anosha." I see all the effort and all the good activities that people do. Arum hi kinas adakani gevar lechavre. It is the jealousy that one person is jealous of his friend. Lemevad kavase. So if lemevad tava kavase meimer deshmaya yoitivle, if you do good actions, then God on heaven will benefit you. Udemiknile levish lemevad kavishte. But if you do bad things out of jealousy, memra deshmaya yavishle, God will punish you. Says the Targum, amazing thing. Every good action that anybody ever did is motivated by jealousy. You want to appear better than somebody who you have in the back of your mind you're competing with. And what do we say about that? It's gavaldik. It's amazing. It's a good thing. Why?
You learn Torah Lishma. You really learn, you're in the Madrega of learning Torah Lishma that's motivated by jealousy.
If you're on that Madrega. If you're on that Madrega, but most people are not on that Madrega. But it's saying that if you're going to Yas Kol Turcha Yas Kol Tavas, or everything is motivated by jealousy. But if you do good actions because you see somebody learning well, davening well, acting with midos tovas, acting with your shamayim, and you want to emulate them and you want to be like them, that's a wonderful thing. In other words, Shlomo HaMelech is saying all actions of man are motivated by some competitive nature, and if it motivates you to do good things, kol hakavod. If it motivates you to do bad things, you're in hot water. But the bottom line is, one of the biggest motivators in life is feelings of competition and jealousy. Even for good things. People give tzedakah. Why? Because they see everybody else's name, or they see everybody else's giving, or they want to appear, they want to have a certain image, they want people to think of them well, or so, whether it's their friends, whether it's their neighbors, whether it's their relatives. And in other words, God created that this world is a very jealous world. People by nature are very jealous. And it's a very dangerous thing, because kinah is moitzinas ha'adam min ha'olam. Jealousy takes a person out of the world. But it's also a very beneficial tool, because if you harness it to do good things in a positive way, in other words, a person's attitude should be, if I see somebody doing more mitzvahs than me, then kol hakavod, it's wonderful. He's not taking away from me, but I also want that. Not that I don't begrudge him. And you know what? If he's better than me, if he ends up better than me, then wonderful. God has more people doing the right thing. But if a person uses it as a motivative factor, then that's a wonderful thing. So God, so to speak, is giving us an insight that many of the things in this world were created in a way to avoid jealousy, to teach us that jealousy is a very real part of creation, something that we should be aware of and something that we should tune into. Okay, so I want to add just two more points. My friend Rabbi Chaim Muller, he pointed out another very astounding example of where we see jealousy in Ma'aseh Bereishis is Chava. Chava eats on the Eitz Hadas, v'atero ha'isha ki toiv ha'etz l'machal, v'chisa v'hu lo'einayim, v'nechmar ha'etz l'haska, v'tikach mipir yoy v'atoichal, v'atitein gam le'isha ima v'ayoichal. She saw the tree was good, and she gave her husband. Why did she give her husband? Says Rashi, because she knew if she's going to die, he's going to marry someone else. And she couldn't bear to stand the thought that she's going to die and he's going to be with somebody else. So she said, if I'm going to die, he's going to die.
There was no other women.
That's right.
Yeah, but you never know. You know how the Chava works.
Hashem could have created another one and she'd still be jealous.
God will make another operation and make him a new one. So you see how almost the creation is so brimming with jealousy. It's like they're explosive with jealousy. You know what it's like? You have this gaseous substance and you just throw a little spark on it and it explodes. You see how Chava, the earth, the days of the week, they're competing with each other. The substances are competing with each other. Chava was jealous of a woman who didn't exist. So we have to be so careful to avoid. Now, somebody sent me an idea, just in general, because we know that Shlomo HaMelech tells us about jealousy, and this possibly will explain why God went to such great lengths that jealousy was not instilled in the Ma'aseh Bereishis. We keep on seeing that God was afraid, Shleitatel kina b'Ma'aseh Bereishis. As bad as jealousy is, it cannot be in creation. Why is it that jealousy cannot be in creation? There's a pasuk, Urakav atzamois kina. You ever hear that expression? Urakav atzamois kina. That jealousy causes the bones to rot. We don't find by any other midah that it affects a person in this way, that it causes one's bones to rot. Literally, the Gemara in Gittin says that when a person is jealous, their shoe size shrinks. And the Gemara gives an example of somebody who he heard good news and he couldn't get his shoe off because his foot swelled. So Rabbi Yochanan ben Zakkai got him a little jealous and his foot shrunk and he was able to get his shoe off. Urakav atzamois kina. Jealousy causes the rotting of the bones. So a friend of mine from France, Rabbi Rafal Ansel, sent me a very interesting explanation. Why does jealousy cause the bones to rot? The most fundamental element of human existence, the primary concept that every individual has to be aware of for their own existence, is that the way God created us is what we need for us to be successful. The way God created me with my set of circumstances is the best set of circumstances for me. for my success and for my happiness in this world. And that's something that everyone has to realize, that the way the Rebbe Shem created them, their life circumstance, their skill set, their family, their career, is what they need to be happy and successful in this world. When a person is jealous, what are they saying? That they believe they should have a different set of circumstances. That is so harmful, because now you're questioning the whole foundation of your existence. You're saying, I should exist in a different way. You're not accepting your lot in terms of how the Creator was boire you. Your creation is now being questioned. Jealousy is putting into question your existence. When you feel, I should have more money, what do you mean you should have more money? There's a God in this world. He gave you the exact amount of money that you need for your success in this world. No, I think I'm challenging that. I have a right to more. I should have more. I want more. So it causes the bones to rot. There's nothing more essential to the man. There's nothing more of the atzmius of a person than their atzamos. The etzem, the bone. Why is it called bone? Because etzem, that's your essential self. When a person is jealous, they're questioning their right to exist. They're questioning their existential being. So when God is creating the world, the one midah he has to be so careful is not in the creation, is jealousy, because jealousy is the phenomenon of undermining creation, undermining the right to exist, undermining the right to be a viable entity. And of all the midas, we don't find God said there can't be taiva b'maisa bereishis. There can't be kas b'maisa bereishis. There can't be, I can think of a lot of bad characters. There can't be gaiva b'maisa bereishis. No, all these things they could be. But there can't be kina b'maisa bereishis, because there can't be creation with kina. Kina undermines the right to exist.
But it exists. I mean, if it wasn't created, it developed.
Now it exists in a good way.
Always.
But now,
Jealousy as a word is generally considered, has a negative connotation.
Now we're bringing it to the other. We're illuminating the other side of this.
Where does the status have a place?
And therefore,
maybe status, if a person wants to become bigger, and that's the way I want to become bigger, better.
okay, a person always has a right to advance themselves as much as possible. It has nothing to do with somebody else. It's human nature to want to expand your horizons in all possible ways. That's human nature. But just because, but when a person feels, he has it, he took it away from me, that's where the kinna comes. So we have three ideas. Number one, how careful a person has to be to avoid engendering the jealousy of somebody else. We see to what great lengths Rebbeinu Shalom went. Number two, we see jealousy is a real part of creation. It's part of the fabric of the world. It's a very jealous world. Even inanimate objects have feelings of competitiveness and are vying. And number three, the fact that jealousy contradicts creation is because it is the most destructive force to the essential nature of an item. Because once a person is jealous, it rots the bones. That means it rots away the essence and the existence of something. Okay, so that's...
what's the difference between ayin hara and jealousy? You know, is ayin hara a result of jealousy?
It can be. Okay, Rabbi said that we'll hold it over here for this particular shiur.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.